Hey y'all, welcome to the Reality or Not podcast with your boy DJ Reality and your boy Brian from Nothing New Under the Sun. What's good, Brian? How you doing this morning? How you doing today?
Man, I am blessed and impressed with the life that God gave me, man. What about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good, you know what I'm saying? Just living and giving, and last name Macmillan. Chilling like
Oh,
a villain.
sweet. And for everybody, like that's my joint. When I say I'm blessed and impressed with the life that God gave me, that's something that I came up with. So if you ever hear somebody say it, they heard it from here first because like life be lifing. Like I was talking to my mom yesterday and she was like, yo, life be lifing. It seems like it's going fast. We already halfway done with the year. I was
Hmm.
like, damn, that was week 28. This week was week 28. I
Yeah,
was like,
nah,
man,
we damn near in July. Like, well, we moved
yeah,
definitely within July, but yeah, this year is going fast, and but nah, man, it's things are constantly changing, but you just got to be constantly evolving with it, or you get left behind. Shit.
yeah. The only thing constant is what? Change.
Yep. Nah, and it's funny too. And this isn't a topic, but I want to like since you mentioned it, do you? And like I said, we go talk about everything that we want to talk about. But sorry for switching up the script. But like,
Awesome.
do you think that people are well, do you feel that people are afraid of change? And sorry if I like literally just a thought in my head. I was because I'm always and this is one thing that we just mentioned. I'm always trying to make sure that I'm aware of what's going on around me versus like, okay, this is how I think about things and I'm not going to change for that. So like how do you feel about that? Because I feel like sometimes it's hard to adapt and some people give up and then some people,
It depends on what degree. And I say this because like in my profession, as a problem solver, I have people, I'm changing stuff all the time. People like, yo, why'd you change it? I want it back, but you want to upgrade it at the same time. So you ask me for a change, but you want me to change it to not be different. You know what I'm saying?
yep.
So it's definitely a double edged sword of that size because I think that change happens to us and
Hmm.
we adapt to it. I mean, I look at me and like uh, being down here in Florida, like I leave when hurricanes come, right? I
Yeah.
don't play with that. So like that's a change that I'm okay with and that I'm a roll with. You know what I'm saying? But uh, some people are resistant to change and they only want to change what they foresee as changeable, right? Until they force to be changed, and then I'm a kind of skew off on this because like I think what Donald Trump is doing is forcing people to change their way of thinking, and
Hmm.
I think that's the best thing he could have did for this country because it was a lot of people thinking that hey, whatever they do in the White House don't affect them, and I think they're seeing it now.
No, look, you brought up a great point. The one thing that's like, even if you like I said, I'm not a fan of Trump, but at the same time, the things that he's doing is forcing people to pay attention, which is change. I think a lot of people don't like, with politics and stuff like that. A lot of people just, like I said, I really don't go into the whole political arena as far as having discussions with people, just because sometimes people just don't want to listen, quote unquote, change. But at the same time, and this is, even I know I brought this up before, but even when we was talking to Lynn and Sank about it, and like I said, they're gone, and I was like, and y'all were not to say that they passed for anything that had to be involved within the political arena, but at the same time, I told them that hey, look, that guy's not going to prison, and it is what it is. It's like, well, no, he's going to prison. He's going. They got all this stuff and blah blah blah. I was like, listen, he's a president. He's not. But I'm saying being able to listen and be like, well, maybe, what I'm saying, he may not go to prison. Like, so what do we do in that scenario? But at the same time, the dope part about the like his terms is that you're paying more attention, and I'm hoping that you're paying more attention to what's going on. Because I mean, you think about we have to get past the term of expectations versus like what we can do as far as being a part of the change and being aware of everything that makes you a little bit more engaged or involved in trying to get change done versus like, well, we got another president. He ain't gonna do nothing, da da da. Like Trump is doing things and you may not be happy about it. So now it's the time to voice that opinion, about you not feeling the changes that are happening. So
Yeah, and here's like, and I'm gonna just hawk on this one little point about it, right? Government stuff in government usually changes slow. When I say slow, I mean stuff happens. boy, stuff happens, and then that gets debated upon, and then the uh, next thing you know, it's agreed upon change, right? So
Hmm.
there was some compromise. Well, when Trump got in there, and Obama did this too with some
Yeah, Obama did
executive,
think. I mean, yeah,
yeah,
that's where the change started happening.
yeah. But this dude is changing agencies overnight, and that usually doesn't happen in the federal government. It's so crazy because I remember working for the federal government and knowing that to change anything in code base, it takes a lot, right? And but now they got to change content and stuff every day. They change the name of the Gulf of Mexico, so
Hmm.
everywhere, every
Was it Gulf of America now? I think.
yeah, and everywhere where we say Gulf of Mexico has to be changed to Gulf of America in all formal documents. So think about all the websites and stuff that has to be changed, and that's just not something that's
Books
just
are
not something
changing.
that happens.
Books are changing.
Yeah.
Everything. What's funny? I went back to Michigan State. Um, it was some years ago, but I went back and I remember buying all the books and stuff like that, and I was spending $200, $300 on books, and they buying my shit back for like $10, $20, or like cents on the dollar. And I went back. I went to a bookstore, and when I went in there, it was weird to me that like there was no books in there. Like it was some, but it was probably 15% of the store was books. The rest was just clothes and stuff like that, just to get you to, paraphernalia for the school, right? So,
Yeah,
but all of the books
paraphernalia.
were scannable. You had to buy like it was no physical books available within the bookstore. And I know for me personally, like I mean, I may not even like reading a book, but at the same time, I really don't like reading a book online. But I know that if I have to learn, like I'm looking at stuff right now as far as AI, cybersecurity, and being a part of that. Like I have to make sure that I'm aware of what's going on around us versus like, and I'm saying that like it
Versus
was
it
tough for
happening
me.
to you, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was tough for me to even see that within the book. I'm like, why in the fuck you got a bookstore with no books?
Well,
Like,
that's the change, right?
yeah,
So you got a bookstore, and like just think about when you move. Like I still got a bookshelf somewhere with
mm-hmm,
all these books, and that was the heaviest box ever, right? So
mm-hmm,
now the bookstore then changed to where does it really need that footprint? Can we
mm-hmm,
make it smaller? I wish we were more proactive. Like, and I'm all about change and changing the direction you want to go in, but like even back home in the school system,
mm-hmm,
like when they start seeing these class sizes get when we start going from 4 kindergarten classes to 2, like you got to start making decisions and choices that align with with the trend, right?
mm-hmm.
So I think people are reluctant, and like I remember those schools changing, and I was like, dang, well, why y'all closing this schools? Like, make it make sense to me, because I'm not opposed to it if it makes sense. But if you just closing it for the sake of, hey, we got to hurry up and do something. Let's close it, right? It ain't coming off your books like that.
Yeah.
And
You
then
know, it's
like
crazy to me for schools. Think like when we grew up. I don't remember. I'm trying to think if there were. I think no, they were still open too. But I was trying to think of all schools were open based off of your area. Now, even going back to the hometown, I'm like, damn, like that school isn't open no more. This school isn't open no more. This school isn't open no more. And it's like, well, are you going to, figure it out? And, now you got to put your kids in this school, or you have to do this charter school or whatever. Like, but that's changed. Like a lot of people are like, well, as an example, why isn't Nelson open? You could be mad about it, but it's closed. It's like a school from my hometown that's closed, which totally surprised me because I felt like it was at one point in time, wasn't it? I know it definitely did. I want to say it was a middle school for
it was a
my
junior high.
sisters.
It
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
junior high. Yeah, it was
And
a junior
so
high.
and then it became
And
an elementary for us. Um, so it's just crazy to see. I mean, they have to evolve, but sometimes I feel like
well,
people.
we evolved. We left, right? And when we left, so I had kids that still went to those schools,
Mhm,
and like people ain't having as many kids. You know
mhm,
what I'm saying? So it's like we see that, we know that
mhm,
coming, right? So like it would have been better if it would have been a phase out thing, and people would have been like, okay, Nelson and those school is available for sale, from my understanding. So if anybody is a real estate developer
Should open
and
a
looking
club.
to build something,
Nah.
yeah, yeah, open a club. It's a bunch of stuff. A real gym. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch
Mhm.
of stuff that could be that's needed. That could be a cornerstone of. I actually thought about like Frebel is a school that was around when when we were little.
Mhm.
Vanderline, they knocked that school down and built apartments. So
Mhm.
it's but those changes. Oh, the thing that I really hate changes is the traffic. Like they got rid of the one ways and made streets smaller and
Throws me
stuff
off
like.
to this day. I go down Peck or Sanford, and I'm just lost. I'm like, wait a minute. The most weird thing to me, this is we're talking about a hometown, Muskegon, Michigan. The most weird thing to me is the no tracks riding across, that split hikes in Muskegon. Like
Yeah,
literally,
yeah,
like because it used to be you stayed across the tracks, you stayed below the tracks or whatever, like you was downtown, and now
yeah.
there's literally no tracks there, and that still blows my mind when I'm riding over. I'm like, damn, ain't no railroad tracks right here,
Yeah,
So
where's the real separation, right?
and trains aren't going through. I mean but I'm saying like that part of the change too is like, well, trains aren't running through Muskegon no more. It's like we
Yeah.
don't even have like we're not even a pathway. You know what I'm saying? So then what's going on with trains? Like now they got less, paths to go through, and Muskegon's not one of them. So then it makes it less of a value of a city to not even because
Well, we were the port city, right? The port
yeah.
city, so we got stuff off boats and we transported that. But that's like intentionally, you got to want to be in Michigan for you to deal with because Michigan is not a pass through state, right? So like it was basically to support our industry. Our industry in Muskegon is transferred from foundry to and factory work to more uh it's actually more technical work like with the battery factory and stuff like that. And there's not a lot of goods being pushed in or out. So, and I guess people doing more semi work than trains when it's that type of. I mean, I see the vision. I wish they would share the vision with other people so it don't just look like you taking stuff out of people community,
Hmm.
uh, and you growing it in different ways, right? I think we think growing Muskegon in different ways is the where the real magic is going to happen. That waterfront and all that water, period, makes it so impressive, man. I didn't even know how impressive my hometown was until going to these other places.
Yeah, no. Look, one thing I wish is that they built the bridge from Muskegon to Wisconsin. I don't understand. I mean, because they already have the transportation that where you could put your car on the boat,
The ferry, yeah,
yeah, go across, and then I'm like, well, why would that? I mean, I feel like that can be a. I mean, like I said, I haven't looked into the economics of anything like that, but like you said, it there you go in, there's one way in and one way out. You know what I'm saying? Except, I mean, basically within Michigan. So it's like
yeah,
build a pathway. So I mean, honestly, I'm thinking of it from not a personal, but from a what's the word I'm looking for? Just not biased either. I'm just for my own personal reasons. I would like to have a bridge to go there, so I ain't got to drive. So it's short of a distance to drive to Wisconsin or even to Chicago, as an example.
yeah. It'll be a great throughput, right? So like, yeah, but dang, that is a long bridge.
Yeah.
I think between there is like 60 miles or something, 60 some miles.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to look it up, but that's a long bridge. I mean, dang, you would think would they do a tunnel? If they did a tunnel, that'd be scary to be under the tunnel for like over an
Cars
hour.
broke down. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
it's a lot of things that has to be taken into account because, as you said, I mean, you're saying 60 plus miles to get from there to there, and like I said, everybody don't have reliable vehicles. Everybody don't, stuff can happen. You got trucks, so like a truck breakdown, hell, if a truck, I don't know, for some reason spins out, then you disrupt the whole damn path to getting from there to there. So I mean, I know that there's other elements and dynamics to it that will have to be considered, but at the same time, I was like, that makes the most sense, especially with the ferry going back and forth. Like honestly, I didn't even know that there was a ferry until maybe about a few years ago. And I was thinking, I was like, well, it might actually be more cheaper for me to jump on the ferry and go to Wisconsin and drive to Chicago than it is to drive. Well, I mean, I guess Chicago is 2.5 hours from Muskegon, so it ain't like a terrible amount of distance that you would save. But from going to Wisconsin, I mean, shoot, you save damn near 5, 6
It
hours.
depends on what side of Chicago you're on too, right?
Yep.
But dang, dude, it's 80 miles. That's a
Okay.
long, that's a long bridge. And just to give our listeners some information on Muskegon, we are 168 miles away from Detroit via 96, and we are 168 miles away from Chicago.
Which is crazy. You know what's funny? I always get on my mom about this, right? She she would come and visit me more when I lived in or close to Detroit or Ypsilanti, whereas the distance is almost the same as going to Chicago, which is crazy. I was like, well, he's like, I don't feel like driving to Chicago, but like, but you feel like driving across. I was like, they're almost the same distance. Like, if anything, it'd be maybe 20 minutes shorter. It wouldn't be nothing like no more than 30 minutes. So that just always, just stuck in my head. It's
Hey,
like,
the
you would rather,
taxes, bro.
huh?
Illinois and Chicago got some of the worst taxes ever, dog. Like
Mhm.
that's a 10%, dog. Come on, man, y'all killing me. And I think the gas in Chicago is extra.
Chicago is crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So
You
that's
want to
that.
hear, you want to hear some bullshit? And this is just a random thing that pissed me off yesterday. That really grinded my gears, dude. I went to a restaurant and I was like, because I went running. I was trying to run because I'm trying to recover from this, the epidural and all that stuff within my neck, pinched nerve, all that shit. Anyway, I went running yesterday and I was like, well, let me go and pick me up some food. And this is Atlanta. I go and pick me up some food, and I get to this restaurant. I didn't pay attention to it, and this is this restaurant I like to go to. They call it the Beltline, or it's on the Beltline, and it's Pine City Market. So I'm in Pine City Market. I order my food, and I usually I'll add an appetizer or something like that. And I was getting it all to go, and I usually add an appetizer, and it's usually maybe around like $30. So then I order it, and that shit was like $41. And I'm like, wait a minute, 41. And I was like, hey, take that appetizer off. That's way too much. And then and then so then I ended up still ordering the food, but it ended up being like $23. And I was like, and I asked the people, I was like, yo, did y'all raise y'all prices? Like, yeah, blah blah blah. So then I look at the receipt. This is some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. But there was a takeout tip on my receipt for 10%. And I was like, wait a minute, y'all charging me to take my food away. Like, that was some of the most bullshit I've ever dealt with in my, like, I was like, don't get me wrong, I like to tip. Like, I like to make sure that people, are taken care of, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, if I'm getting takeout food, why in the fuck is there a tip on there if I'm getting my shit to go? Like, I'm literally buying food from you to leave. I'm not buying food for you. Like, you're literally charging me some extra shit to force me to stay in your restaurant to either pay 20 or 18 or 22 or 25%. And now you're charging me to walk away with and pay 10%. I was like, that's some bullshit. Now, I was so pissed, and I didn't notice it. I was like, damn, how much shit get to 23? And I saw like 17 on the order stuff. I'm like, man, this is some bullshit. But sorry for getting off.
No, but that's a valid
My
fact because like
fucking
but that's totally valid because like when they turn these screens around and they ask you for a tip, a lot of times I ask them who the tip go to. And like
I don't add no
what
tip to that shit. That shit. I put zero. I look them in the eyes and push zero, and then I sign, and then I keep it moving. I'm not tipping you. Give me my food.
but but
That's
here's the
bullshit.
thing. Like sometimes
I tip
it
you
don't
for give me my fuck you.
typically for me ordering, you know what I'm saying? But okay, I digress, right? So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna say, hey, look. So I asked him, I say, hey, who get the tip? Do you get the tip? Like, is it better for me to give you cash or like what? What's up? Uh, and so with that being said, uh, the one lady said, I don't even know who get the tips because I don't get it. So I was like, the restaurant getting the tips? Like, so ask the people who getting the tips if they really getting the tips, even if they do turn the screen around to you,
I tell
because
that bitch back and look you dead smack dab in the eye. It's zero, and then sign, and then no, I don't want a receipt. Listen, one time I remember. So Atlanta is a crazy city that they automatically, like, some places automatically have like, especially bars, lounges, and stuff like that. They have automatic gratuity on there. So I tell everybody, pay attention to your receipt, because what they will do is they'll put that automatic gratuity on there.
and have you ask.
Then there'll be another line that says plus tip. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a minute. You want me to tip you twice?
Man, they do that in the funny bone here. So like they automatically add gratuities to everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you come with me with the little paper to sign. I'm like, get out of here. You already got your tip.
Mm-hmm.
Like you ain't do nothing that great for me to like. And again, who gets the tip?
Yeah.
Do the people that clean the table get the tip? Like, yeah, y'all miss me with that. All restaurants, which if y'all pimping and trying to get that extra 15, 20%, because I'm
Hey, y'all
never giving
people.
somebody 25% unless I love them personally and I put it in their pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pay y'all
but
people. Stop
yeah,
trying to fuck us over. Like, and then and mind you, Brian, this is the time I asked. I was like, what is this tip for? Asked the waitress. I was like, what is this tip for? If this tip is automatic, it's like, well, we all have to split the tips and da da da. I was like, yo, I don't care. like, I like like you said. I mean, if I'm giving it to you and I'm like, you family or you friend or something like that, then cool. But I'm not about to walk out of here damn near tipping 40% of my bill. Like, at that point in time, shit, I just go grab a bag of chicken and some broccoli and throw that shit in the fucking air fryer.
and the food already expensive. Let's just be 100.
Mhm.
There is no $5 meal no more. Like I appreciate Wendy's for still like throwing it in there
I
every once
fucks
in a
with
while,
Wendy's.
but but like there's no $5 meals. You spend $17-$20 every time you go get something to eat. Shout outs to Publix because they got my chicken tender sub on sale that I rock
I
with.
love that. The 7.99, 8. Yeah, I fuck with that.
Yeah, and then you can turn any Publix got me because you can turn any sub into a salad or a
Mhm.
wrap, and it's
And
straight.
if you want to, they got, well, I know certain ones. I'm not sure all, but they started doing keto wraps too. So they
What's
have
the
the,
keto wrap?
yeah. So it's just tortilla that's keto. That's
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yeah, they
All
literally
right.
had the keto wraps in there. I forgot the name of the brand, but I found out maybe about a few months ago. I was like, damn, because I stopped eating the suds because I'm strictly keto.
Yeah.
But then when I found out that they had it, then I went, and it just depends on the Publix. I went to one Publix, they didn't have it. I went to the other one, got me a couple subs, and had them for
Yo,
day.
did you know anything that you want on your sub that's in Publix? I mean, that's in Publix, they're gonna get it and open it for you.
Oh,
So
really?
like, yeah. So
So
like,
they
if
run out
you
of lettuce?
yeah, yeah. Or you can say you want that type of lettuce and they'll go and open the lettuce up. I was like, yo. He was like, yo, because I was like, they got that this mayonnaise, this sandwich, the
Damn.
boarhead sandwich mayonnaise, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what's different about that? He's like, you want to try it? I like
Hell yeah. I
he
fuck
oh
with Publix, man. Like
yeah.
Publix can be expensive at times, but I fuck with like I'm Publix remind me. You ever heard of Wawa? Like,
Wawa,
yeah, Wawa is it's
the
a
the gas station.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we got them right down here. Yeah,
Oh
right.
man,
Yeah,
Wawa's is the high tier of gas station slash. I go in there and I get all, like, I remember when I went to Philly for the Roots picnic, and they I was with Eddie and one of his friends, and they was like, oh man, we got to get the Philly sandwich, da da da. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, we went got that, but then like late night, I went and had some Wawas because it was right across the street. Nigga, I ate Wawas for the rest of it. I was like, nigga, I don't need to. I've had
man.
my Philly sandwich. I'm eating Wawas. Wawas is good as fuck.
Man, I tell people all the time. Like, well, so the crazy. I'm gonna give you a little background. On me and Wawa's.
Mm-hmm.
So I joined Top Golf League, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I want to just go and hit the balls and don't want to spend all this money. So I joined Top Golf League, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the guy, one of my teammates, he's a Wawa executive, right? He was like, yo, I opened them all up here in Florida in the
Mm-hmm.
last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, where you? And this dude lives the life. He
Mm-hmm.
jets back and forth to to Philly he a hockey fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like this dude, he lives like his name is Todd.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of
You
fact,
need
I
to
need to
talk
call
to
Todd
Todd,
and see
nigga,
if
and
he can.
figure out
See,
Todd's
see,
plan and incorporate that and make that a part of your plan. You ain't got to do Todd's plan, but shit, take pieces of that and use that for yourself. Shit, you talking? You be
right.
like,
You meet
oh,
people,
shit, I ain't doing nothing. Let me go to this Philly Flyers game today.
right, right.
So,
Right, but Todd, good guy, but like, man, the one, the message of that story is don't join don't join the top golf league unless you're really interested in improving your game. Because them cats, they was there to improve their game. Bill was an executive at
mhm,
the defense, not an executive. He was a VP
mhm,
at Nordstrom's. Not Nordstrom's. It's the Northam Drummond's, the defense contractor, right?
mhm.
Uh, man, game on game on
You
game.
talking about
They
Northrop Grumman or something like that?
no, yeah,
Yeah, I know
Northrop
you're talking about.
Drummond or something like that. Yeah, whatever. But
Mhm,
game on game. But if you're not willing to like think about joining the bowling league and somebody really not taking it serious and rolling that ball, just keep rolling that ball in the gutter, and you like, dude, because them boys was on me. I was like, dog, this
mhm.
ain't my. This is I'm
That
just out here
reminds
for
me of
fun.
mom with blackjack and shit. I'm like, I mean, my mom ain't really that good at it because she lose money. I always like, you're not really like, don't try to tell me how to play the game if you over here like borrowing money for me to try to figure out, like you just trying to win money for the bills. It's like, no, you're not the blackjack. No, it sounds like these dudes is like, our game. I will improve my strokes, blah 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 blah, by being in this league.
Yeah. So it was an eye opener, and like I said, I'm just trying to play golf because I top golf because I like it. Right, I just want to swing and hit some ball. That was my get out the house. I have been COVID and all that stuff. I was in there, and I was like, yo, it's time. I got to get out the house a little bit more.
Hmm.
But yeah, that was wild. But the guy he came down here, he opened up. He did all the southeast, but his thing was mostly Florida. He
Hmm.
opened up the Wawas in Florida. He told me that they also have a guarantee on something, service something. So if you ever have a problem, you can turn it back. You can they give you your money back. So I was like, oh shoot, I didn't know that.
Hmm.
But yeah, the Wawa's is. I tell people Publix is the most happiest place in Florida because you go into Publix, everybody's happy, and Wawa's is one of the best gas stations ever, like you said.
Look, one time I went into, well, not one time, but one time my pastor was talking about Publix, and he was saying, and this was like this made me really pay attention to how people your shopping experience. 'Cause you said people are happy when they go in, and he was saying, when I go in, I know I'm about to pay more than what I normally would pay at other grocery stores, but we're okay with it. And I was thinking like, yeah, like I literally go in there, like, and I know that everything I get out of there, I'll be happy, and I know that my experience will be great. Like so, it's just a unique thing. Like you might be like, man, Publix is expensive, but I'll be like, it's a difference between like Publix and Whole Foods, where I'm like, Public, like, no, don't get me wrong, I shop from Whole Foods. Like, I go into Whole Foods and I buy three things and probably five things at the most. But I go in Publix and they're in their grocery shop and get what I got to get, even though I know that it'll be more expensive than normal.
Yeah, I mean, what's their slogan? Where shopping is a pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so yeah, if you Publix shout us out for your own commercial because we just ran it. Yeah, we're shopping is a pleasure. Come to Publix because, like you said, there is a better quality of people at Publix, right? You're not dealing with the rough draft uh, that you would find at other stores, and the people that's there generally want to help you. It's like they pay their people, so their people is like, sure, we'll help you.
Yep.
Like, hey, what can I get you? And like I said, my man was like, hey, you want to try it?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Like
That's
he was
funny.
like, yeah, we open up everything that you want because he gave me so they didn't have the London broil beef, and he was like, but we do have this other stuff, and I just substituted for you. And I was like, let me
I
test
give
it.
it to you at this price, even though it's priced more. Da da
Yeah,
da.
yeah, because that was the stuff that was on sale. The London broil. Excuse me, I'm on the phone here. but the London broil is a high quality roast beef, and I kind of do it like a Philly steak.
Hmm.
And so like he was like, "Yo," because he's my sandwich guy. He's like I had a sandwich guy at Publix,
Uh-huh.
right? And
Hmm.
so he would tell me the different stuff that's available. He was like, "Yo, but they got this meat, and I'm gonna give it to you at the same price because that's what that's what's on sale."
Hmm.
And yeah, they helpful. They and that they just look like they're having fun at work. I mean, well, look like they enjoy their work.
Look, I used to grab the chicken sandwich, like, because it's a movie theater right across the street from the Publix that I go to. Well, you can look at it two ways. It's a Publix across the street from the movie theater. It's a movie theater across the street from the Publix. I look at it from an advantageous way of, I'm going to the theater. Let me go and get that chicken sandwich that you mentioned earlier, and then I take that into the movie theater and I eat that with pleasure. Like, it is the best experience ever. Like that.
How
That
did you get it into the movie theater? Well, I know you got your flash, your
Yeah. Oh no. Just look. I was at the Braves. Well, I probably. I mean, I don't care. Shit. Ain't no laws that was broken. I mean, but I like my flash is in my binoculars. So I take that into the stadium because I'll say this. Not necessarily being cheap or anything like that, but one time I went into State Farm Arena, and the way, like with keto and everything, I try to keep all my drinks straight. So whenever I'm drinking, I'm like, well, give me tequila on the rocks or a shot of tequila or whatever. So I went in there and I spent $16, and they gave me a cup, like a little Atlanta Hawks cup, and the bottom of the cup wasn't filled for $16. And I was like, you know what? This will never happen again, where I go into somewhere and I spend $16 and you're not even damn near filling up the bottom of the bottom of the cup. Like,
yeah, at the bottom of
yeah,
the
the
floor
bottom
of the
of the cup
cup.
should be filled.
Yeah,
Like,
you should at least fill a. Yeah, it shouldn't be no spaces on the bottom of the court.
to this day, like that was. I mean, I've always look. I've had that. I didn't. This is I'm on my third flask of the binoculars. Like, I mean, I've had flasks that I was like, okay, it's time to retire you. It's time for another one. It's time to like, I've retired two of them, and now I'm on my third. But I'm just saying, like, from 2011, 2010, or whatever, I've had that particular flat ordered from the same company, Amazon, $9. I tell everybody all the time, I was like, if they ever confiscate it, I won. Like, I've made my mark, because
Right.
it's made it in so many venues and nobody has a problem with it, but it's just interesting that I'm like, man, I was like, you're spending, because I went to the Michigan State, it was a Michigan State, Kansas game, because like the championship series, so Duke had played, uh, Duke had played Kentucky. Whatever, the four teams was Kansas, Duke, Michigan State, and Kansas, Duke, Kentucky, and Kansas. Wait, I said Kansas. Kansas, Duke, Kentucky, and Michigan State. So, but all that being said, I had a friend that was in there, and I met him down there. And actually, it's John from the NBA group. But we were talking. He's like, "Yeah, man, I didn't spend $30 on a beer," and I'm like, "God damn!" I was like, and I'm over here just binoculars, just going like, and I'm good. They just spent like damn near $100 just on two beers, and I'm like, well, I try to be more logical. I don't drink
It
beer.
makes sense. It makes sense, though. Like I go to a Magic game and that that $15 cup, and you like, dog, is this ever gonna be worth it?
Mm-hmm.
Like so, like a lot of times before I go to the game, I'll go to the black. Oh, I'm big into supporting my own because like I want them to support me too at one point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I go and I buy stuff from there and eat there before I
Mm-hmm.
go to the Magic game because I'm like, yo, this yeah, yeah. I mean, y'all bringing y'all just squeezing all of the blood out of a cat,
Yep.
and so I'm straight on that. But like I was like, yeah, I'm gonna give me
You
some
brought, you brought up a
binoculars.
great point. How do you feel about, and I mean, because I have different feelings sometimes with black owned and I don't want to say white owned, but or corporate. And sometimes I've noticed that we get squeezed by our own people sometimes. And I was like, why am I spending $40 for some oxtail and rice? You know what I'm saying?
Because
Like,
oxtails went up like
no,
crazy
no, I
now.
get it.
Yeah,
Oxtail is
but
up, but I'm not spending it. I'd rather assume go and grab some oxtail and cook them myself, throw them in the pressure cooker or however I cook them, and go from there. Versus like I'm talking about people be selling plates and stuff like that, and I'm like, I can't afford black owned sometimes. So, like, what's your what's your feelings on that? And I get it, but sometimes, like, say for instance, so before you even jump into it, say for instance, if you go to because Walmart is known for squeezing producers on price, right? So if I go to, as an example, a black owned grocery store and you say steaks are, I don't know, let's say $12 a pound or something like that. And you go to Walmart and steaks are $9 a pound. Like, do you still look at the black owned to target those steaks, or like, and sometimes it could be a large price difference in that scenario. That one's very close that I'm mentioning, like $9 and $12. But how do you feel about those prices, or how do you feel
man,
about that situation?
if it's all going down the drain, so like there's one thing of being a black business and a black middleman. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like the middleman joint, like I don't. That's why I don't really do like the Mary Kays and the stuff like that or that type of thing because you really not producing anything. You really just selling somebody else's product, right?
Mm-hmm.
You really just adding like what's the value added? You know what I'm saying? So I try my best to find the value added to be enough to justify the one. I mean, I'm not blindly supporting any business that because at that point, your product will go out of you're gonna lose hope in your product and your like it's just gonna go out the door.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not a proponent of keeping a business alive if they don't have a winning strategy, if that makes sense. But if it's apples to apples and like I can support my own by just saying, hey, look, maybe it's 50 cent more, maybe I tip more at that place, but like no, I got a t-shirt that says I'm rooting for everybody that's black, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think that was a controversy, right? But like you should see some of the things that some of the way people looking at me like, oh, like I'm like, it's not for you, obviously, but it is what it is.
I like
But
that though. I mean, because the thing, and sorry if we're pivoting throughout the topic, but this is my thing, right? Out of blacks, Latinos, um, Asian, white,
Native Americans,
Native Americans, when we do something that is proactive as far as the things like we're pushing our people, it's seen as prejudice slash racist. When other races do it, it's seen as them uplifting their race. And that shit pisses me the fuck off. It's like you said, like what's her name? Issa Rae.
yeah,
I root for everything that's black.
rooting for
Right?
everybody who's black. Yeah, and
Yeah,
and and Wale said it too. I don't know who
yeah,
said it first.
yeah. I think it
Yeah,
was Issa. I mean, because she said it in a little press conference. It might have been Wale too. I don't. I know that she
yeah.
said it in the little presser. But the thing is, when and I hate this because I mean this is a deeper conversation. I'm cool with going deep into it, but it's even as far as gay people, or LGBTQ, and the rest of the
Plus
letters.
LGBTQ. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, plus yeah.
it's just like if you root for those, and like I said, I'm an advocate for all. Like I don't have any issue. Only thing I have issue with is prejudice and racist, right? And even prejudice, I get prejudice. I mean, we all have some form of prejudice in our system, whether the levels of it. you know, you go with it from there. But at the same time, it's like, well, black, be proud, be for your people, and it's seen as like you're automatically like Black Lives Matter or anything like that. Like it's like you're almost pushing against other races. It's like no, when you're the minority, and most of these other entities are, or these other races, ethnicities are the minority, you're pushing to move your ethnicity forward. So we're not doing it. At least I don't think there's too many people that are like, kill these other races or stop these other races or anything like that. We're just like we're trying to move the needle forward for our people, and it's seen, at least from what I've seen, like that it's a racist thing, and I don't see it as that. It's just pushing.
It's a culturally biased thing, right? So like I think that like because excuse me, I am rooting for everybody who's black because god dang it, it's been a long struggle. Like when you think about the transatlantic slave drive, right? When you think of that, and you think of slavery, and you think of Jim Crow, and you think of like I'm rooting for these people because these people have came from some of the worst conditions ever, and so like if you got a problem with me rooting for these people, there's more a problem with you, and you might have a bigger platform or whatever, but at the end of the day, these people are these people it don't matter what they do, they always end up being the wrong people, right? They always end up being in the wrong situation. So
Mhm.
like when I'm rooting for everybody who's black, I want the black quarterback to win. I want the black coach to do well. I want because everybody's saying that they can't. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? That
Mhm.
what's the American dream?
Yeah.
Being down and out and building yourself back to something greater and better than anybody I've ever seen in life.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Look, but you brought up a great point, right? Like you said, like the black quarterback as an example. The one thing I mean, don't get me wrong, you can have your favorite team, and hell, you can root for the white quarterback. But the thing that, like, when you root, like, the problem that we have, like, say for instance, the black quarterback in a sense, is that they told him, "Oh, all you could do is run. Oh, you don't have an arm. Oh, you don't have the thought capacity to be a successful quarterback as a Tom Brady, Joe Montana, etc." Those are the things. Like when people are pushing against you for those reasons, like you had what's my man from Baltimore, Lamar,
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 yeah, Lamar
and
Jackson.
yeah, and telling him that he's not good enough to, like, at one point in time they was trying to force him to be a receiver to come into the NFL. It's like damn, like this dude has been the NFL MVP. You know what I'm saying? It's still
Multiple times now. Like, yeah, like
and is fighting for like fighting for the right contract still to this day. And it's like, damn. So, when you see him get into a successful position to push the Ravens to a Super Bowl or championship game, et cetera, like that, you want to root for him automatically just because of what they told him he couldn't do before. And that's just kind of like the nature of not the little guy, but of the David versus Goliath. Like, I mean, technically Lamar is a Goliath, but you're treating him like a David. And it's like, damn, like, well, shit. Well, let great David beat the shit out of Goliath, even though, what I'm saying, not to say that he should win. I mean, you want the game to happen however it happened, but at the same time, you're rooting for him a little bit more just because of the things that they said that he couldn't do. So,
yeah, and I mean, like that's the type of. I mean, even the coaches, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like they set them up for failure. Like my man Brian Flores said, like y'all tell me it's a rebuilding year, and y'all don't give me the pieces that I need, and
mhm.
now I got a bad coaching record, and that was by design because y'all was tanking so y'all could get a good draft pick. So like, yeah,
What's the
yeah.
man from Pittsburgh? Mike, I can't think of his last
Oh,
name.
you thought it looked like Michael Epps, but
Look like
he,
Omar Epps, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But like I didn't realize, like he's never had. It was like he never had a losing season in Pittsburgh. Like he's been to every playoffs. I was like, that's crazy, from when he came in to where he's coaching at now. I was like, damn, that is, but then it's like fire him, every year and all that stuff. They're
Yeah,
not winning the Super Bowl or they're not getting this far in the playoffs. I'm like,
they making the playoffs though, right?
yeah, so
And
you
that's
want to root for him,
yeah,
automatically. So,
yeah.
but
And if you don't root for him, you're gonna lose a job. You know
yep.
what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
you damned if you do, damned if you don't. So that's why I said, like, let me root for who I want to. And why does me rooting for somebody mean that I'm rooting against other people?
Hmm.
You know what? Like, Tom Brady
People
won.
naturally do that. I hate that, man. That really bothers me. Like, I can root for somebody else and still, be a fan of the rest of the game. Like, I can root for LeBron, knowing that the Lakers didn't have a chance at the playoffs at all. But shit, I can root for Steph too, or I can root for, like, and I never understood that. Like, and it's almost, I mean, we used to really be segregated. Like, I remember, back in the day, it's like, well, you're a Pistons fan, you can't be a Jordan fan. It's like, well, shit, look at all of the shit that Jordan is doing, even before the championships. I'm like, that dude is freaking amazing. Like, oh, you wear Jordans and like what I'm gonna wear Isaiah's Asics. It's like, like, no, man. It's like I'm not about to be sitting out here with some Magic Johnson Converse weapons and shit. I like, nigga, I fuck with Michael Jordan, and it's okay. Like, like, oh, but I will say this. No, random topic. Or random sidebar. I remember Rip went to Detroit, and I was like, and he was a Jordan athlete, and I was like, damn, that's gonna be kind of awkward. What I'm saying, to see him wearing Jordans, in a Pistons uniform. But then also too, what was a little bit awkward for me was seeing the Jordan, because Nike sponsors the NBA.
Yeah.
Jordan logo
Well,
on the Pistons jersey.
yeah.
That shit, like, really, I don't know what it is, but if I ever
It's
bought
blasphemous. It's blasphemous. That's what it
if
is.
I ever bought a Pistons jersey, it would not be the Jordan logo. And like I said, it's nothing against
Yeah.
Jordan, but it feels awkward to do that.
Man, that's that under that's basically shade,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
That's what the young folks call shade, because like he know he wouldn't want them wearing his stuff. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? But
Yep.
if he owned his own name, and I'm gonna talk about Jordan,
Hmm.
because I think that, like, it should be a way where he should start trying to get back the trademark of his name,
Hmm.
uh, from Nike, and lease it to Nike versus
Jordan
it
has
being
more leverage than any athlete in the history of all sports to do that. I mean, I
yeah
think he gets, which is crazy. He gets 4% of Nike sale of Jordan sales or Jordan brand sales through Nike. And you brought up a great point. When you have that, I think he's comfortable, which is, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, 4% of a billion, what I'm saying? It's like, it's great.
400 million, right? Yeah.
But at the same time,
4 million. I'm sorry.
yeah, but at the same time, he has that leverage to, like, Jordan brand. I forgot the Nike basketball as a whole is responsible for 90% of sales of sneaker sales within the United States. Jordan brand is, I think it's around like 80 or 85% of Nike sales throughout. And I mean, fact check me because I haven't checked that number in a while. But Jordan brand sells the most in its retros and stuff like that. Sells the most out of any brand, out of anything from Nike. So
Yeah, that's why I can understand how Yeezys was worth more than Jordan. But I
Yeezy,
digress on that.
no,
The
Yeezy
Yeezy,
was, like, we talked about Kanye fucked up a bag. Kanye, Kanye,
but
if you Kanye
how,
had the world in the hold because he was a brand that if he put his name and attached to it, like, Kanye had as
but
much.
what I liked about Kanye too, he was real particular about his shoe. Like, he
Yeah.
wanted his shoe. If I'm not mistaken, he developed that space material
Well,
for his
not the
shoe.
boost, not the boot. The
Not
boost
boot.
was the boost was already developed because that was already within sneakers. But he
Yeah.
developed the whole sock. Not want to say he developed it because it was kind of like popping off in Europe and Japan and all these other So, but at the same time, that's where fashion is normally influenced. Like it usually starts like in the European companies, and he took what he took something that was like he made buying shoes, clothes, and stuff like that. He took it to a darker state. Like it was more monotone colors, more the browns, more the grays, more the navy blues, more of the darker tone. And he brought that to the U.S. within Adidas and was killing it. And
Yeah.
he fucking screwed up the game. He fucked up a bag. And I mean, I said Kanye go Kanye. You know
So
what
the
I'm saying?
the Adidas deal and the Gap deal is worth more than the Jordan deal. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
He
he
probably
he
made more
was
money,
worth
but
$3 billion
yeah.
just off of those off the. I think was it 3 billion on the shoe contract? What?
It was up there. It was a high number. It might have been like billion. Whatever. Shit. When you get past 100 million, like that shit is like crazy. But like Kanye had a brand that, and I remember he released a statement. He was saying how because his shoes were limit. I mean, I got like Yeezys from like his first Nike Yeezy. I got like both of them.
Oh, you got the boots, the Yeezy boots.
Nah, I ain't got the boots. No, I'm talking about
Oh,
like
okay.
Nike Yeezy shoe. Like I'll show it in the next pod. But I got the first Nike Yeezy shoe that was released in 2009, and then the ones that was released in 2012. And it's like he had the world in the chokehold on getting his shoes, and or anything that was associated to him, and he fucked it off. Like, and that's what I feel like Jordan is afraid of doing, of saying the wrong thing, and it impacts his brand. Honestly, you ask me, I feel like that's where the NBC deal came in, where he's going to be doing like some special commentating
Yeah,
and stuff
he's
like
gonna be the
that.
commentator. Yeah.
Is to make sure that his brand still has the light because nobody's really buying the numbered Jordans outside of the first 14 or 13. Like, of course, some random 17s and shit like that'll pop up, but nobody's
Was
really
the 17s like the dress tip ones? Which one was
it
them?
came in a box or in a suitcase.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Those were the ones that he had just. I think that was his last year in Washington that he was wearing. It was his last. No, it was second to last year well, he only played 2 seasons, but his
Well,
his first season in Washington, and then the second year was the 18s.
okay. Before we pivot to back to our topics, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to just add, I just want to ask you this question because you being the sneaker savant
Mm-hmm.
that you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Nelly made money on Air Force Ones.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that was a sneaky deal, or do
Nah,
you think that
no,
Nelly could have parlayed his shoes into a 50 cent deal?
the problem that Nelly did right is
Go
Nelly.
back into the whole backstory of it.
Yeah,
Tell him how Nelly
yeah.
how he cut a back end deal on.
Well, not so. This is what I mean. Nelly is. It's like it's too. It works out different. I mean, I've listened to him talk about it. The thing is, if you look at how I mean, you had the Air Force One song, right?
Yeah,
The problem with that song, and this is why I respect Jay Z so much, or even 50 Cent. They get the deals done first and then promote that product versus Nelly had the Air Force One song and then try to get a deal.
okay.
It's tougher to get a deal after, I mean, because no one, it's not like Nelly's going to come out with a Air Force One Part 2 song. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, I mean, Nike is just eating off of the popularity of, because that was a number one song. Like Nike's eating off the popularity of that Air Force One song. Like, get the popping in my Air Force One. Like
I need
yeah,
to
like they
wear.
eating off for
Yeah,
that because it's free. It's dog. It's free. That's why I don't really like. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I wear Jordans, I wear Nikes, I wear Adidas, I wear all brands. But you won't. I mean, we could always have the conversation of our favorite Jordans and da da da. Like, I don't really feel like that's promoting. That's just kind of like just being a fan of the product. But
yeah.
when I go like
When you go to pushing it, when you can say, "Hey, look, you got to get these and such," go to you know
I'm,
what I'm saying? Like,
I'm not doing that. Like that, I'm not going to say Nike's better than Adidas. Adidas better than Nike's. Reeboks are better than. Nike. I'm never going to do that just because I don't promote the brand. But that was, like I said, that was the beautiful part about Jay-Z and 50. They got the deal. Like 50 said that he got an $80 million check just off of the Reebok deal. And the
Yeah.
way even the Reebok deal, it's a video of him. He was talking because the whole G Unit was supposed to wear Reebok, right? So off of that deal, 50 had a meeting because he was saying like, people was kind of getting out of pocket, da da da. And he was like, look under the table and see what y'all are wearing.
You got Gucci. You got
And all
Gucci.
these
You
other,
got Louis
got all these
Vuitton.
other. He was like,
Yeah.
oh well, shoot, y'all don't want to do that. Y'all don't get no more checks. All the money go to me. I'm the one that's promoting this brand. You know what I'm saying? So back to Nelly. Nelly tried to get a deal because like even Nike sponsored his tour. After that, like it was a big Air Force One and all that stuff in the concert tour. But
Mhm.
he tried to negotiate back with them to try to get a piece, and he wasn't able to because I mean all your cards are showing. But one thing Nelly did bring up, which is way like if you think about it, back in the day, Air Force Ones, $60. He was like, after we did that song, Air Force Ones went up to $100.
Yeah.
It's like and Nike took advantage.
$130 now.
Yeah, now
So
you haven't say now they up to $130, $150, just depending on which ones you get. And
yeah.
Nike took advantage of that free marketing, and that's what I tell people all the time. Like, I'm not marketing anything that I mean, I'll have on a DJ reality shirt, or I have on this particular shirt. Like I got have on a GoBot shirt right now because that was one of my favorite cartoons growing up. It's just like but I'm not like promoting, hey, go watch the GoBots or hey, go watch whatever, whatever's on my shirt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Outside of my particular brand, just because that's where we got to get to the point of believing in ourselves versus like pushing somebody else. Like Jordans aren't going to get me no extra money. Like, I mean, I
Okay.
like to wear them, but it ain't
So how you feel about the LL Cool J pulling off the For Us by Us and the Gap commercial? Like, do you think that was
that's one of the most diabolical things I've ever seen within promoting a brand because he says what for us by us on the low.
yeah.
It's some diabolical marketing. I mean, because and ironically, it works for both brands because
Right.
yeah,
Right. Because Gap got theirs and yeah.
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 I mean, but
Yeah.
no, but look at it like this from Gap standpoint, the people that's buying FUBU, are looking at Gap, and the people that's buying, that's watching the commercial for Gap is buying FUBU. So it's kind of like a cross marketing thing. Gap could have took offense to it, but honestly, I think they probably was like, well, shoot, this is a way to get to our urban
Yeah. I
buyers
mean,
and stuff like that.
I don't
It's
I
wrong.
don't know if it was
I don't think it
terribly
was by
evident to him.
design. No, I think
Yeah, I don't think it was
help is
terribly.
some other
Yeah.
shit. But so,
But I do and and I talk about marketing on your on the pod because like it's important to me that like it's certain things that I market and I tell people all the time. I'll never market tobacco. I'll never market I'll never market um lotto, and I'll never market alcohol. Like those are things that or drugs. So those are four things that you will never see
I'm
me
not
market.
marketing dick increases. It's like,
Oh, the little blue pills, the blue chews.
look,
Uh,
I be seeing shit, and I was like, Ro Sparks, like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, and it, like, I see it on, like, some of I ain't gonna mention, but some of my favorite podcasts that I'm watching. I'm like, wait a minute, like, why are y'all marketing dick shit? Like, it's other
uh,
brands. Maybe I don't know if they paying them the most, but I'm like, I
I
don't.
never thought about that
Yeah.
because like that ain't never been my target market. But
Okay, let me go ahead and jump into it. So I've seen it on Shannon Sharp. I've seen it on Club Shay Shay. I've seen it on Club 520, which is Jeff Teague, and the rest of the crew, B Hen and DJ. I watch their podcast literally every day. And I've seen it on Gil's Arena, and I watch damn near their pod, like their little shorts every day. But I'm just
yeah,
saying, like every podcast or just YouTube video, etc., that I watch frequently, they all had Rose Sparks on there talking about this making you last longer and blah blah blah. I'm like,
Yeah, and that's a
Okay.
compound drug. I interviewed for a company that makes those for
Mhm.
the pharmacy, and it's a compound drug. And man, it's so crazy. But
I'm afraid of
I'm
that stuff, bro. Like, if my shit ain't working, it just ain't working. Like,
she
like,
ain't working. That's what it is.
yeah, I can't add that element. I just, I mean, I don't know.
My,
We just got to hang out and I don't know and watch Breaking Bad or something. I don't know. We
right,
can't.
right, right. Uh,
Oh,
Again, is that craziness. But like again, those are my four things that. And here's the thing, Sean.
mhm.
Now that I said that, I bet you three of them going hit you up and be like, look, what about doing Crown? I ain't gonna even say their name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
I get it. Like, I mean, I'm like, I don't really, like I said, I do drink, but I'm not go unless it's something like I probably wouldn't do it. I just don't see the reason. But what's crazy about that is that all of our, like especially in the '90s, all of
uh,
our favorites were a part of those campaigns. Like literally every rap group artist that I was into. But now I'll say this one thing, and I'll mention some names, but this is back to Jay Z. Jay Z was only marketing Armadale because he owned Armadale or he had a percentage in it. Like,
with the whole Cristal fallout thing, right? Because he
yeah,
was like,
he's like, yeah,
Cristal ain't for us.
I ain't about to
Yeah,
advertise for y'all if we over here. But that's free marketing because you think about was it the in my lifetime video where he was talking about like we was the first one on the boats with it, and it's like
yeah,
I mean, but you still advertising something that you don't have no investment in. It's almost like even the Iceberg clothing line. That's how Rockaware ended up being developed. Like they wanted an Iceberg deal and they weren't willing to give it to them, so they went on and got their own clothing line with Rockaware. Now you're promoting your own brand. So
yeah.
not that I would say that I would be against any promotion of any drugs or alcohol, but I would be against promoting anyone else's drugs or alcohol. Like I said, I don't plan on
Anyone else's?
having any drugs. I don't plan on having any businesses within that anyway. But at the
Yeah.
same time, I wouldn't promote. I definitely would not promote. I wouldn't promote anything that's not mine unless, like you said, it was within the not within the safe spaces, but
I mean, but it's about like I hear you mention the keto stuff, and like
I
that's
would
a
promote some keto bread. I buy Arnold's keto bread. I buy Brownsberry keto bread. I get it all the time. Go and get it. It's very soft. It's great for peanut butter and jelly. I had a salami sandwich last night with American cheese
a
and some.
salami sandwich. Oh my goodness!
Look,
As long as it wasn't bologna, I can't stand
I have
bologna.
some bologna as well in there. I
I
bought
can't
two
stand
packages. I
bologna.
bought both. I bought an
Sean,
Oscar Mayer pack
there
of salami.
there is there's three things from my childhood that I refuse to do anymore. I've graduated, I
Mhm.
elevated, and I'm sophisticated enough where I will not do it. I don't do noodles no more. I don't do the
Ramen.
ramen noodles. I'm good. Like I'm so good on that. Right. I
I tried.
don't.
Go ahead.
I
Keep going.
I don't do bologna. Oh dog, I hate bologna.
I love it.
Bologna,
I love
like
ballpark
bologna,
hot
like
dogs.
the only time I would do bologna is when I do the little three slit bologna, fried bologna, because that don't be tasting as bad. But like, especially not the bologna with the red thing around
Oh,
it. The
I'm not
red.
doing that. That's too much effort. Like, that's too much energy. I used to hate like God damn, like I gotta peel it too. Shoot, no. Look,
Well, we used to get it where you had to cut it at one point, and you're like, God dang, I'm cutting off chunks.
listen,
Uh,
I
and
bought
then
I bought a pack, and I'm gonna let you get to your third one. I bought a pack of salami and a pack of bologna at the same time on Thursday, and I've been eating salami sandwiches damn near every night, just to curb my hunger. Yes, I fuck with salami and I still fuck with bologna, but I'm a little fancy with it now. Like I said, I'm eating on keto bread. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually buying like the kind of cheese. Like I'm not even, it's not even necessarily American all the time. Like
I,
I
I
got,
don't do American cheese no more either. Like the sliced cheese in individual packs, after
hmm
seeing
hmm
like it break down to just the oil, no, I'm straight on that.
hmm
Like yeah. So the three things I do not eat. Let me reiterate. I don't do them ramen noodles, them cheap ramen noodles. I
hmm
never did the cups. So like I never did
no
that.
Marichard or whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The
That should be good though.
bologna, I don't do bologna.
Hmm.
And then the third thing is Kool-Aid. I don't do Kool-Aid. I don't do those. I don't even buy those Kool-Aid juices no more, dog, because I was like, dog, that is like, nah, I just do, I do cranberry juice, and I didn't elevate it to that point. I'm sorry, mama, if you feel like I'm bougie or whatever,
That
but
ain't bougie.
there's some things,
That's just growing. I mean, but
yeah.
I'll say for me, it's beautiful to go back and have like like I said, I'll fry bologna. I don't even fry it all the time. So like I said, I go in there, I just grab 2 slices, throw some cheese in the middle of it, and keep it moving. Um, but I feel like having those things now for me is reminiscent of my child. Like it doesn't feel like like you sound like you was tortured from
I
eating
was
the bologna.
traumatized by it, but what about like? So I don't eat Franks and beans no more either. Like I
I'm not
like
eating
that.
that shit. That shit just ain't good though.
Hey man, that's a throwback, man. Franks and beans, like
That shit
that was
ain't
the
good.
nastiest stuff
I
ever.
tried it. I tried it. I tried it probably about a good. It was probably maybe a good 12. It was some years ago, and I was
But
like,
see, spam, I
this ain't
still
good.
rock with spam, and I know people be like, "Oh, spam,"
I eat
but
spam too.
yeah, spam is,
Listen,
and it costs more than regular ham. Like, so
look, I
like,
eat. Look, it's certain things, like I said, that brings me back to my childhood that I still fuck with. Like hell, I even eat Lunchables. I love Lunchables and shit. Like Lunchables go on
man,
sale.
see,
They
we
be
can afford
99
that
cents.
shit.
They be 99 cents or $1.20 and shit. I grab like
Yeah.
4 or 5 of them. And I just eat. I mean, I
My
don't eat
my
the
brother
crackers.
was more into those because we had a little bit of money. Like I never had Lunchables, and it's cool to
Mhm.
like create the little whatchamacallits, but the
Yeah, you eat
nostalgia,
your little
yeah.
sandwiches and shit. Like you,
Yeah.
no, that is nothing but charcuterie, nigga. Like that is charcuterie before charcuterie was a thing. Like you got your little separate meats and stuff like that. You fancy them up and shit. That's all that shit is. Like, I guarantee you, if you grab like 8 or 10 Lunchables and you put them on a tray and I don't know, you switch out the crackers or something like that, and you serve that shit to a
Just
motherfucking
add a couple more crackers.
look,
Add a couple of the more expensive crackers.
add,
You'd
add
be like,
some berries or something like that, and,
yeah,
and put some, I don't know, some Welch's grape on on the, people are like, oh man, where'd you get this
some
charcuterie
brie
board from?
cheese.
Right? People gonna love it, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, so that brings me back. We talking about that nostalgia, and it brings us to the first topic of the day, right?
Mm,
So, what was some TV shows that influenced? Because we talked about some of the rappers and some of the stuff that
mm,
they were doing, but what was some of the TV shows? Let's go top 5 TV shows,
mm.
and then is that the same list as the top five influ- influential TV shows?
Let me see. My top 5 TV shows. Definitely the Cosby Show is number one. Um, no matter what happened with Bill and stuff like that, I do feel like that show taught me that there was more, to life. And ironically, like I said, if you go back and look, none of them niggas really achieved anything outside of Theo. You know what I'm saying? When he ended up, and then they was fucking over. They was talking Theo was dumb and shit until they found out that he was dyslexic. And I'm like, God
Yeah.
damn!
Yeah,
Like
it
five
was real life. Yeah, it was real life.
seasons ago, y'all was talking about how dumb Theo is, and then come to find out he was diagnosed with dyslexia. I'm like, God damn! So Ottoman said the dope part. It was just showing that you could, like I said, you could achieve more. Whether I mean, they were a doctor and lawyer,
Oh
but
yeah, yeah.
you know what I'm saying. But
It showed black love too. That's my favorite reasons because like the way Cliff and I ain't even gonna lie. If my marriage would look like that, that would be what I'm looking for, dog. The way Clara could look at
I
Cliff
fuck with
and
Claire.
Cliff could be like,
I wish I
yeah,
could have been more Claire than Cliff. Like Claire was snappy. She was spot on. She was charismatic. She was like Claire. If you ever look at it, really, Claire never really messed up. It was
no,
there.
she didn't. She
It
didn't. She
was
was
everybody else.
yeah,
Like
yeah. Even
so.
with the broke foot, she was like, yeah. It was more everybody else's fault, but I do like how he could communicate with her, and she would catch on his, like he would send them clues or whatever, and they have fun, dog. They have fun. They put on like talent shows for like,
It's night and day.
yeah, right.
Baby! That's literally one of my favorite episodes. Listen, one episode that stuck out to me the most about that show was really when Theo had to
Pay rent. When he's like, wait,
do you
wait,
plan on having a girlfriend? Oh, It took the rest of like that was some of the most like I mean because it's life, right? Is how we deal with things and
He
and
was preparing them, and yeah, he was preparing them for real life stuff, and like I never had that talk with my mom. Like she never told me what it meant to be paying bills and how to pay bills, right?
yeah.
So like that's when I was like, oh shoot, you really ain't got no money. To live in New York is crazy. He was like, because remember he was like, I don't need a car. I'll take public transportation, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, but think about it like this: like making more money. I mean, because it's almost like the more money, more problem thing. But making more money, because as you get older, you're gonna have more bills and stuff like that. Like I said, I don't even have children or a wife or anything like that, and my bills are crazy. You know, and saying that from Theo's standpoint of you plan on having an apartment, you plan on eating, like all of these things, and you're making more money. Like that was a good way just to be like, well, even if you make more money, you're still going to have to take care of everything that that's around you or that you plan to indulge in. And like I said, even when he said the woman thing, he took all the rest of the money. I was like, damn. Well, I guess that's just how life is. So it exposed me early, not necessarily that I ain't gonna have no money, but just be cautious that you living on your own is a whole different lifestyle than you having your. I mean, because I'm thinking about it just from a logistical standpoint, like they had to do a lot of stuff to get all of his stuff out of that room. like,
yeah,
like
yeah,
to set
yeah.
that whole setup up, it took a lot. I mean, I know it's TV and stuff like that, but he they was like, do you expect to have furniture? Do you expect to have all of these things? And I mean, I mentioned to this um when I moved into my house, I didn't have like everything in my house now is essentially brand not I want to say brand new, but I didn't have any of the furniture, any of the things that I have in my house when I first moved in. Hell, when I signed
You
my
got five
mortgage,
bedrooms. How you gonna fill up 5 bedrooms with like?
right.
I was like, dang, beds.
Nigga,
And not only
not even
beds, but you
bed,
got
blinds. Like
we talked about that the last time. I told you I spent.
I didn't have nothing on my windows. So that means like I gotta do that. Like I mean, like I said, I'm like, damn, $70. Like I think I mentioned $70 or $80 for paper blinds to put up on 35 windows. And it's like, well, shit, like that's $70. That's a sunken cost. That cost is
That's a through cross to get you through,
yeah.
right?
That those blinds are meant to depreciate or go like that is literally a temporary
Yeah,
cost that means that it's
those
going to
will
go away.
depreciate your value of your house, right?
Yeah, right. So I had to literally replace each blind every time, going through it. But it's just interesting. I'm like, man, like seeing that episode, I'm trying to think of another one that really I remember when Denise dropped out of school. That was like a whole different thing because my sister dropped out of Grambling just because of financial reasons or whatever. But if you look at the show for Different World, that show was literally created like they said like the backstory was because Cliff was having issues. Well, not Cliff, but Bill was having issues with Lisa Bonet, so they created that show just so she had another show kind of to go to, for lack of better words. And that show essentially was college, and I think Denise was only there for 2 years.
2 seasons, right? Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was the first or second season. Then she ended up going to Africa or something like that, and met
finding her
yeah, met
boyfriend,
my man.
her husband in the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, finding herself. But okay, so now you got the Cosbys. So a different world is one of them.
Mm-hmm. Different World is
Okay,
definitely.
different world is one. I thought Hillman was a real college.
I did too. I mean, damn near. I was like, I'm going to Hillman, then found out that it wasn't a school, and I was like, damn, shit. So couldn't go to
Yeah.
Hillman.
Yeah,
So
but understanding how financial aid and stuff worked in there, and then like how you had to have a job in school, you're like, dang, he is a tutor in school. Dwayne Wade is a tutor because you got to make money. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And then it kind of prepped me to what like. So these are two of my top that
Mm-hmm.
you're speaking on, and they two of my top influential,
Same.
uh, too. All right. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm trying to think of now it gets a little bit deeper as far as the shows. I mean, because I may expand further along, but I would say The Wire. Not necessarily growing up, but just seeing The Wire in general, um, definitely made me think about life a little bit different because there's a little whole concept behind the show, right? Like it's based off of a book, and David Simon was the writer of the book and also the executive producer of the show, and also of the corner that happened before that happened before The Wire. But the way that The Wire is structured is it's structured off of five things. It's structured off of, and that's why it was only five seasons. It's structured off of the neighborhood, blue collar workers, which is season or neighborhood season one, blue collar workers season two.
That
Um,
was when it was at the docks, right?
yep,
Was that when?
yep,
Okay.
at the docks. Season three, politics. So you saw more, being elected and stuff like that. Season four, school systems, and season five, media. So these are the five factions that
Oh,
David Simon wanted to get off. I mean, and of course, things are still going on in those other spaces, but those were the focus. And I feel like season four, when I was watching that, it really showed to me like the whole school system and No Child Left Behind and stuff like that. And I was like, damn, like you know, none of them like when you had Dookie ended up on drugs, Naaman ended up going with commissioner. I can't think of his name right now, but ended up going with the cop or the
was that Pete Commissioner? No, I wasn't Commissioner Pete. What the heck was his name?
I can I just remember he got fired for coming up with Amsterdam.
Yeah,
Um, and then you had Michael, who ended up being a murderer, like a crazy murderer. Um, and then my man, what's his name? That's crazy. I remember his name by this, but his name was Randy. They called him Snitching Randy because he ended up, talking about a crime to the cops, and he didn't really even say much, but just because of him being within the, him,
streets. It was
yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah, they
yeah.
was like snitching Randy, and then to see him come back even season five and see how he had changed, how he was hardened, and how his lifestyle had changed. Just, I mean, he was a kid, and then to see how he changed, and then like I said with Dookie with the drugs and stuff like that, is it was just I don't know, it was eye opening to the things that happens around us, and it was really showing a whole city of Baltimore, and I don't think that I mean, I didn't grow up in Baltimore. I grew up in Muskegon, Michigan. But to see those different elements of a city, made me think about things a little bit deeper as far as me growing up. But what's your third one, or what's your shows?
My third one, he went deep with the because I didn't even think about The Wire, even though I just started watching that again. But my third one probably would have been Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and the reason why I would say Martin, is not necessarily, I'll say influence, because I'm doing influence and favorite TV shows, because like dude was had his boys in everyday life and really really meant to live the life. Like he was living, he lived the American dream. Like you, like it was never like his struggle even when he lost his job. He was like, I'm gonna do something else. Like I love his resilience in there, and people don't talk about that. You know what I'm saying? People don't talk about how much, even though he put his friends out of his house, out of his apartment all the time,
Mm-hmm.
dude always had space for his friend. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Like they always came over. Like I don't know how he does that, because it's so hard for me to say, "Hey, look, y'all coming through." Like what we doing? Because most of the time my space is my space. You know what I'm saying? And like
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Yo, this dude is really enjoying life and his friends, and it's funny."
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I wish Martin, man, like I wish he didn't have problems because Martin at one point in time was the funniest man on earth. Martin was my dude. Like Martin, like I think it came on. I want to say it came on Thursdays too, if I remember correctly. But and I know it was like starting to move around and stuff like that, so it might have switched days. But all that being said, watching the Martin show was I was I can't think of any episode that I'd be like, oh man, that just wasn't a good episode. Like every episode, it was something funny or something to take away from that. Like from the Nino Brown episode, or no, that was some, that was some of the funny. And then I mean, because it's like that was with Brotman for fifth floor, you know. And then the fact that he had the CD player the whole time was just like, and he always came through the window. It was like little things like that. Even with the I forgot the name of the animal, but when they went camping. And, like no, it was just so funny. It is, you know, their interaction, and I hate that it ended when it did, and I hated the way that it ended because honestly, you know, us being younger, we didn't watch it like because you know there was problems between him and Tisha Campbell, but
Yeah.
no, but
I'm glad that they got. I'm glad that they got past it. Right.
but think about it
Yeah.
like this: we wasn't watching it thinking like they in separate rooms, they doing
Yeah.
da da da. Like we were just watching it just as
They
a
they they did a good job of playing it into the scene, and then like you said, even with in the honeymoon when they went to the and she wasn't there, and
Mhm,
Pam she was like, "Yo, what?" Like, but again, I think that Martin did a really good job of explaining day to day life, and it wasn't like so now that I think about The Wire, I was like, "Yo, that was real life," and
mhm.
Martin was real life, but it was like it was like when you ain't got to worry about the streets, right? So like I was like, you can be cool, you can have fun with your boys, and a lot of my life is like that. It's secluded from like you know the
It's
cousins and
fun.
stuff.
It's just like even though you're going through the hardships, it's like you still having fun doing it, and that's just
Yeah,
something like whether you got money, whether you, um, like you said, he had lost his job, whatever, at one point in time, and he's like, so he had to pivot, you know, it's stuff like that that you really see in life that it makes it, I want to say easier to deal with, but it was watching them live in the moment, like I still, you know, the whole Tommy thing, and I hate that he passed because they didn't you know, get a chance to do a you know, like a follow up show. But well, they did the little reunion thing, but he
yeah,
was there.
and I enjoyed the reunion
Um,
thing too. With
but I'm just saying, it would just been like dope to even if they. I mean, I don't know if they talked about doing a show after that, but I always felt like the kind of premise that they could do is be like, well, you know, they all show up for Tommy's funeral, and then now they, you know, back together and trying to figure it out, you know. But
yeah, I think they would have to do something younger because I don't think they got the appeal to do it like to be there. Like I think Martin could be somebody granddaddy. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And then like yeah, but again, the whole concept of the show is that hey, we all right as long as we got our friends and family, and then we can enjoy life and we kicking it. And then like when the one episode that comes to mind was when he found out that his girl was making more money than he was.
uh
He was like, bro, I'm the man. Like,
See, I was saying the one thing that really stuck. I remember the Jodeci episode, and I saw some little video, and they was saying how, like Casey was talking about it, how that wasn't supposed to be like that. Like they were just singing a song, and Martin came out, and they were just improving because they
oh dang.
that whole scene is improv. So that was kind of cool. I was like, damn. And then you go back and watch it, and Casey's kind of just like, you know, just like looking at like, yo, and then they're like, ooh yeah,
Yeah. And
like,
behind the scenes with that, the dog one, that it was supposed to be a real dog there.
oh really?
And yeah, it was supposed to be a real dog there. He was like, yo, they was looking around the set and
Mm.
wasn't no dog there. And then they was like, yo, let's put this dog. And he's like, Martin really just got it and took a hold of it. It was like it was a real dog.
That's
And he said nobody can hold their face together. And then once I watched it, I was like, oh shoot, they
mm.
is laughing like a
No, they laughing like a mug, like all through it. Like they are literally laughing all in the back. Oh man, so I'll
don't
say
nobody
this.
know nothing,
One
right?
one that stuck out to me, and I mean Martin is definitely one of those. And it was what 5 seasons, but like Fresh Prince of Bel Air really was a show for me, and it's kind of like one thing that was cool about Will is like it was kind of like you know the whole cross color, you know, like he was of what we were a part of at back then. So it's kind of like he was fashion. He was driving fashion. I don't know if he knew it or not knew it, but you know he was on. If you look at the intro, like he's wearing a pair of Jordan fives. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just kind of like you know it was like I said, even the whole sneaker thing growing up. It was kind of cool to see him wearing you know Jordans or even to bring it back like with different world when Dwayne Wayne they was wearing Jordan and Air Forces or Air Force threes and flights and all that stuff, the stuff that we wanted to have as a kid, and even the glasses with Dwayne Wayne, you're like, I didn't need no flip up glasses, but shoot, I wanted a pair. So funny
The
story about
mechanicals.
nigga, funny story about that, man. Like in I think it was like eighth.
7th grade, right?
No,
Yeah.
I was like, funny story about that. Like it was maybe third grade or fourth grade or something like that. Monica Romero. I don't know, I didn't say that now, but I had my sister flip glasses, and Monica did something and broke them, and
Oh, snaps.
I wasn't supposed to be wearing them because they was my sisters, right? Like
Yeah.
my sisters, we talking third grade. I know it was Nelson, so it had to be at least third grade. So my sister's 7 years older than me, so it had to be like she was at least in the 10th grade. But man, I got hit so hard from I was like, because I hit Monica because she broke the damn glasses. Like
You hit her?
yeah, I hit her. Yeah, it was third grade. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, because they were like, I was gonna get hit. Shit, like
Yeah.
so, but
It
playing
was a
around.
transfer of power.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like it wasn't like a knock her out type of hit, but it's like you broke my glass. I got in trouble and everything. I know, so it was either third or fourth grade because I had Miss Cotner third and fourth grade.
You had her both. I had Miss Law 3rd grade.
I had her both. That's Miss Cotner is my favorite. I don't know if she's alive or not, but that's literally my favorite teacher, whatever. But
Who did you had Mr. Sharon in 5th grade too, right?
yeah, I remember Miss
I had
Sharon. Mr. Sharon, he I remember, I still remember
Robert?
Robert Williams
Yeah,
when he slammed up against the locker, bro. I was like, yeah, we don't fuck with Mr. Sharon. Like, like, I still remember that.
Hey, and it's crazy when you go back.
Like, boom. Like,
and it's crazy when you go back, right? I go back and like Mr. Sharon was my daughter's teacher, right?
Oh, really?
And, yeah, man. Mr. Sharon had my mom. And he never had me. Like, but like we had, because I had Miss Jarian, but I would go to Mr. Sharon for reading. Back when we did that thing. Whatchamacallit. It's crazy to think about going back that far.
But
the
hell out of Robert.
Yeah, but Robert was a bad kid. You know what I'm saying?
Still locked up.
No, he got out because he had life at one point. I seen him at Mr. B's.
Oh, okay. I need to catch up because he was already like he stayed on the same block or like a couple blocks up. He was always like I said, he was he was bad from time to time, but ironically, like he could hoop too. But because he played with us, was it the 7th and 8th grade? But then I think after that it started to go downhill. As far as stuff that he was getting into, but yeah, he and his sister was cool too. I forgot his younger sister name, but
Ramika.
Yeah, she was cool as hell. I talked to her like maybe it was a few years ago on Facebook or something like that. But yeah, I know. Yeah, I think he had like 15 or 30. From what
he had life. He had life because he had them 2 charges, but he got out because he was convicted before he was 16. Yeah, he was 15 years old when he got.
Yep, that was around the hoop time. Like I said, 7th to 8th grade. So that it all
because he didn't get to play in the 9th grade. Yeah, so like, but yeah, I mean the whole him and Terry Boone, like it's crazy, the situation we grew up with, and these cats is people that we was cool with that just end up. I mean, Lance shooting the lady 3 times in the face and she's still surviving. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like what? Like you tell me that ain't a blessing. I know he did 10 years behind that, but shoot, at least she ain't die.
Yeah.
But she was trying to rob him.
Yep.
So yeah, how do we make this happen? But man, that's wild. All right, so let's go back to the. And we say that's wild.
Let's go lighthearted and shit. I'm trying to think of it. I'm gonna go.
You said the Fresh Prince, so Fresh Prince was number 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Transformers. Like Transformers. Okay. Like it really taught. I mean, I could probably intermingle that with G.I. Joe, but it literally was showing
chivalry. Like man like the man robot taking care of business type thing. Like I think of that.
It literally showed how to not move as a man, but it showed like honor, and then it showed like deception. You know what I'm saying? So it showed like the good and the bad and why they did it. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like now they have humanized the villain versus like back then it was just like Starscream was just a potent asshole.
Yeah,
Um,
and he still is.
yeah,
Starscream is still that. But
yeah, but at least like you look at like I'll say like Thanos. Like Thanos is kind of like we know why Thanos is doing things. It makes sense, but it's fucking
it made
genocide.
sense to him. Yeah,
No,
it
no, no.
makes
It makes sense.
yeah.
Like as far as like saying, okay, well, we're going to take out half the society, and we're going to have enough resources for everybody to continue and grow on. Like it makes sense, but it's genocide. Like I mean, like two things can be right at the same time. Where
Right.
like yeah, you can have more resources for these people, but I mean, you have more resources for these people, and you could do these things, but at the same time, you're murdering the rest of the world. So it's
Right.
kind of like, nah, you can't really
There is a cost to that, right?
yeah, so I would say Transformers is definitely one that stuck to me and like literally had to rush home and watch
That's
it.
wild because I had a cartoon on mine too. Mine
Mhm.
is Fat Albert. And
Yeah,
the reason why with Fat
I've got
Albert
lessons.
because he always had a lesson to each
Mhm,
show, right? I know
mhm,
it's another Bill Cosby joint, but
mhm.
trust and believe, like
No,
I
Bill was doing
appreciated
some
Bill
dope shit,
Cosby.
man. I don't care what anybody like all that shit. Bill was doing some dope ass shit for and sometimes I mean not sometimes, but like it could be interpreted like you say Fat Albert, you say hell even show movies like Uptown Saturday Night or like you said the Cosby Show, Different World, stuff like that. He was showing positive images of us and nobody else was doing that. Like period. Like you had like the Urkels or I can't even think of like no shows before the Cosby Show that was very similar that showed us in the positive light.
Yeah, the family shows. I mean, because like when I think about the other stuff that
Good,
influenced me, and these are
good
just
times. I forgot about that one. Good
yeah.
times. Good times is definitely probably top five show. But yeah,
Dang,
we
I didn't
couldn't.
even think about Good
Yeah, I
Times.
didn't. Me neither. Like, look, I was watching Good Times damn near every day, and mind you, we weren't watching it like when it was live, but it was
Yeah.
like it was sad to watch Good Times at times. Thinking
I
back to
mean, I
it,
learned about child abuse. Like people really burn their kids with irons. What the
dog,
hell?
that episode traumatized me. Like that really, I was like, damn, like, and it was almost like, I mean, I hate hate to do the motions, but like in the episode, she was like walking towards it with the iron, and it like cut to another scene. I was like, oh, like so.
Yeah, real time TV. So like another one, like the Facts of Life
Mm-hmm,
was because I was like, yo, these are foster kids, and
mm-hmm.
like they
Different,
live in
I
their
mean,
life,
not different
and it
world.
was one of them after school. It was one of them after school joints too, right?
What's the shit with Arnold? Different
Different
strokes.
strokes, different
Different
strokes. Yeah,
strokes.
that so those were the honorable mentions because, like I said, and they took that white savior thing to a whole new point with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but yeah, I was like, yo, these kids living in foster care, and then so different. I mean, so okay, so your understanding of Tootie and what they was all in foster care too, right?
Yep. Yeah, they were all brought in to stay with what's
Blair,
her name? Miss what was it? I can't even think of her name right now. The lady that brought him in.
right?
I forgot. I can't think of her name. Whatever. But yeah, her.
Well, see
They brought.
that
I always like Joe. Joe is cool.
yeah, the hardcore.
Yeah.
But and I'm gonna tell you why I like that the facts of life because I learned that like you don't
Miss
have to like each
Garrett.
other. Miss Aaron, yeah, you don't have to
Garrett.
like
Garrett.
Garrett, Miss Garrett, yeah.
Mhm.
You don't have to like each other, but you can work together, right? Y'all can come from all different backgrounds, and like I used to be like, yo, why they don't have Tootie being like more black? But shit, she grew up in this, you know what I'm saying? Like, uh, but I'll give you some honorable mentions. Living Single,
I was gonna say
definitely,
Living Single too, since you like the 2D transition, great transition. I
yeah.
like that one. Segue.
Yeah, Living Single was one that I really appreciate. Girlfriends was one that kind of put me in the understanding of what girls really like. I heard my
I
mom
watched
talk,
Girlfriends.
huh?
I never watched it.
Oh, it's weird, dog, because like uh it's weird. It's weird because like it's girlfriends and they like getting together and really doing their girlfriend thing. My mom had
Like Sex and
friends.
the City or
No, it's more like dating and understanding what the dating are going through, type
not Sex and
thing.
the City,
But it wasn't more focused on the
but it was
sex part.
black.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it wasn't focused on the sex part. It was more focused on the relationship part of it, right?
Okay.
Um, and then like man, I love Blackish. Black is my one of my favorite new school
Look,
TV shows ever.
my favorite episode literally was when that white baby or white toddler was on the elevator. he looked. He was like, he looked around. He's like, and then he just closed the elevator and let her go down. And then they had a meeting right after that. They all at the round table, and that was the best part of the show. Honestly, was the meetings. But they're
Yeah, because that's what real life.
so they at the meeting. They sit down, and Dion Cole comes in. I forgot his character name on the show. He comes in. He's like, "Hey man, sorry I'm late, man. It was a white baby on the elevator, man. I had to take the stairs." So I was like, "What?" Uh,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
it was.
yeah. I mean, him and going through the stuff with his kids and junior year and stuff, and then being like, "Yo, I didn't teach my kid how to be like my kid is soft." Like
Mhm.
I felt that. I was like, "Yo, like
But
yeah,"
that's
and
life
then
though. I like when shows can show different elements, especially like say for instance him. He was like a sneakerhead. He was working in his corporate job, but then they'd talk to the white people, and then the white people would be like having their different interpretations of what black people because they was the marketing. So it's like it was literally how do you market to this demographic and so
yeah,
so it's always interesting to see, that dynamic even between the characters in general. Because like Deion Cole is like literally one of my favorite comedians. Like I want to say ever, but he's definitely one of my top 10 comedians ever. So
just the realism that come out of him, and it's like yeah, yeah, and Diane being the boss, and she always being the boss. Yeah, so Blackish is really that's like my newest new school TV show that I think that every black person in America, every black person from the diaspora of I mean, like I love the fact that they went that Juneteenth. Like I knew about Juneteenth, but never really understood the concept of it until like maybe it might have been a year before that, and then they broke it down a year. They broke it down that whole episode. I was like, oh, okay, because I knew it was when they went to Galveston, but I was like, yo, it was
every
still
time I think of Galveston, I think of Charles Barkley. Talk about all them big women in Galveston and they dirty water in San Antonio.
San Antonio.
Man,
Yeah,
man, listen,
yeah.
he's talking about well, they going to Galveston. Like and anyway, side but I'll say this: like two of the shows that I didn't mention, but I definitely they definitely fall somewhere within my top five, but I don't know where. Like I said, I think I mentioned four, but
Mm,
The Office and Seinfeld, and they're not like the Blackish show,
mm,
but it's still
yeah.
like two shows that I feel like were had an impact on me, and the reason why I think Seinfeld did was because it showed me that it's not just like because sometimes you would think well people people are reacting to you versus like most of the time you are reacting to people so and it's almost like not an asshole show but it's kind of like a show where you're watching you were like okay, this is why that person acts like that is because other people are treating them a certain way. And that's definitely within Seinfeld. You're like, damn, there's all these different type of characters that they create, like I don't know, man, like even with dating and stuff like that, talking about man hands and stuff like that. And it was just all different elements to be like, okay, well,
Because
this
he points out these little minute things and people that you be like, yeah, that exactly right. Like the way Kramer come into the room, he presents the presence every time, right? And it like, dude, like even if he knock, it's
yeah.
just like he be busting in the door. Like I was like, this dude
Look,
is erratic, but like, yeah,
look, it was an episode titled Master My Domain. And that episode was about not masturbating and who was going to masturbate first. And and
and the
it's a
girl,
small.
right? The girl in the
Now she was second, so it was a part in there where they made the decision, and then and I kind of give you the layout. So Kramer, Costanza, and Jerry they're all looking out the window because this one woman would just be she would have her window open, but she'd be getting dressed, so she'd be naked and whatever. So if you really pay attention to the scene, Kramer just walks away, like he doesn't say anything, and he comes back in maybe like 5 or 10 minutes later, slaps the money on the table, like I'm out. Like, it's so not strategic, but it's so masterful on how they created it because it's not like I said, it's just they never said we were masturbating or we doing da 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 like. And then it had like little elements too. It was like, well, now Kramer's sleeping well. Now everybody else can't sleep because they got, like
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like it's the way that it's
So
created.
Kramer was the first one to lose.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Kramer lost probably within like the first 5 minutes of the episode. Like they were literally looking out the window. They were talking about how this woman be getting naked, and then like Kramer literally walks away, walks into his go to his apartment. Is gone for maybe about 2 to 5 minutes. Walks right back in, slaps the money on the table, said I'm out. And then
I never been a constant watcher of it, but I did remember watching that show. I remember watching the
was
show.
hilarious. And then we're leaning like I say with The Office. The Office is like I feel like that's life on like dealing with people, not even just within the office or people dealing with people in general. It's very similar to Seinfeld, as in like you're dealing with people based off of how they treat you. So being in an office environment, you see people have their certain little quirks, like they do things at certain times or whatever, or they can be anal about this meeting and stuff like that. Like one of my favorite episodes is when Michael's talking. He was like, "Well, this is how we're gonna sell paper," and no, it wasn't about paper. It's like this is like I'm trying to get you to join this thing. I'm trying to sell some stuff. So if I sell it, then and you sell it, then we all make money. And then what's his name? I can't think of his name, but I think of it in a second. But he's like, but that's Jim. I'm sorry. He was like, but that's the idea of a triangle of what do you call it?
Scheme.
Yeah,
Ponzi.
Ponzi. What do you call it? What's the actual phrase? What we call it? We call it triangle scheme. What do we call it? Triangle, whatever. So essentially, like he was like, well, no, that's a triangle scheme. I'll think of it in a second. But anyway, he was like, well, what do you mean? He's like,
multi-level marketing.
yeah, no, it's not that. It's a triangle scam. I just can't think of the actual bad term for it.
Yeah, when the people on top make all the money and the people at the bottom make the less. Yeah.
So then he wrote it. He was like, okay, this is you selling. This is this person selling, and this is this. And like Michael wrote, like this is me selling. This is you selling. This is you selling. And then he went up there and wrote a triangle around it, and then it cut to the start of the show. It was like, yeah, that's a triangle. I forgot what the triangle scheme or triangle or whatever, but yeah, it was like just the idea of the things that we normally go through in life. Like it was an episode too. I don't know if you remember like the little bouncing ball that used to be on TVs, like if it was sitting idle. Like Michael's talking, and the ball or the little square is bouncing around the screen, and their whole idea is like, well, it's going to hit that corner, and we're going to get excited about it if it hits that corner. So they're just watching, and Michael think that they're paying attention to his presentation, but they're looking at the back of the TV, hoping that it hits that triangle or it hit that corner. Because if it hits that corner, it changes colors. Otherwise, it's just go keep bouncing around the screen, sitting idle. So they're back there, they're like, yeah. I was like, no, that's something. And then it's like, oh, and then like Michael's like, oh yeah, that's kind of, it's kind of bad, but we're gonna figure. But then it finally hits it. They were like, yeah, meeting over, and then they all get up and go to the room. But it's like it's subtle humor, and it's probably one of the first. I want to say sitcoms. It was one of the first shows I remember watching that was a comedy show that didn't have like a laughing audience that you still see the humor in it. And I was like, that's kind of dope. Where we're not being forced to laugh based off of a live studio audience, but yeah, those are my shows. But trying to think, let's we could probably wrap up shortly, but did we mention the influential? Because we kind of mentioned, I guess, within the Cosby Show, in the other shows, but one what's some shows that you're watching now that, and we'll wrap up after that. But what's some shows that you're watching now that what's your top three shows you're watching right now? So
Ooh, my top three shows that I'm watching right now is of course I'm watching BMF because that's on right now.
okay.
BMF, The Shy, and The
Mhm.
Shy has changed so much throughout the whole thing.
I need to
It's
go
so
back to it because it was. I think I got to the fourth season, and
yeah,
it
it's
was
pew
like
pew.
I was like, yeah, I'm not really feeling it like I was feeling it before.
It is 2 seasons. It's 2 seasons that basically do that to you,
Hmm.
and The Shy, where you
Hmm.
feel like that's enough. Or you feel like, man, it's too many directions that they're going into, or this ain't really made. This is going gotten to the point where it doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
And I understand that they because they had some of the same stuff that happened with Martin on there, where they had to basically basically not remove some people from the show.
Hmm.
And then like it's some people that like people came back that you thought, yeah, it's a
No,
lot of
Peter
dynamic.
back that got kicked off the show. Well, he got
Huh?
murdered, so I doubt it. Like, I forgot
Uh,
he got.
yeah,
What's the
Brandon, you
first one
talking
where
about
he got
the
kicked off the
Easy
show?
E, the dude that
Easy,
played
yeah.
Easy? Yeah, yeah.
His career never bounced back after that, man. I like dude, like and listening to all their sides of the story on that. Like, well, I didn't really
Dude
hear
that played
Lena
Easy
talk
E.
about it, but I
Yeah,
only heard him really talk about it. So,
yeah. And I think it's one of the things where you're like, man, I'm gonna just leave that stuff in the past because it's no benefit to bringing it back up because I think
mhm.
he been on some other stuff, but
Mhm.
I just don't think that like it's been breakthrough stuff.
Okay.
I told you I'm rewatching Wire right now.
Okay.
So I had turned that back on, but I'm a Power dude. I enjoyed Power until
Okay.
it gets to the point where it's off to the scales. But uh,
Let
yeah,
me, let me ask you this about BMF. Like, what's going on? Like, so all of the stuff that happened, with 50 and Big Meech and stuff like that, do you feel
Lil
like
Meech.
that? Well, I mean, Big Meech and 50 got into it, and
Yeah, and then
Little Meech
yeah,
is just a part of it, But like, what has do you feel like that is impacting the quality of the show?
no, because
Like, as in, like, the quality of the
this stuff was shot like last year.
show? Okay.
This yeah, so it was shot before the beef started.
Oh, okay.
Uh, what I think happened to the whole situation is that it makes it harder to go forward. But I think they're at that point now where because right now is where the meat and potatoes of where I remember BMF when they
Hmm.
got into the
The
music
music
game,
game
right?
and stuff.
Yeah, so this is what they finally getting to this point,
Hmm.
and I'm for it, but
Hmm.
it's just like it's slowly developing, and they more talking about the fracture between this brother when they came together for the music, and then the way they was handling the music was kind of the way that I figured that they were falling out.
Oh, okay. Nah,
Yeah,
that's interesting. I would say the shows I'm into, right, and I always wondered like if that impact, and I don't know if it was just to drive people to watching and stuff like that, but honestly, bro, if you and I jump into my shows, but honestly, like if you're doing something with 50, man, it's like just fuck. I mean, like and even the concert didn't even happen too. That was the other part of it too. It was just like y'all, you was trying to promote a concert that didn't even happen with Rick Ross, and it's like, man, what like when I saw the photo, even before 50 commented, I was like, man, this ain't about to go well. Because I really like the whole 50 laws of power and stuff like that. I get what 50 like stick with your team. Like you're eating with 50. Your son is eating with 50. Like, even if like I mean, you can still have a relationship with somebody, but then you posing for the photo with a promotion. So
with
now
that,
you're
yeah,
kind of cross promoting stuff with him, and then you're still automatic because the show is about you. You're cross promoting that show with a business that 50 don't fuck with. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's why people
and your
always
sister
say,
getting paid off of writing it, right now. Like she's the executive producer on it. So like that's what I want people to understand. She is definitely a force in there, and I know they ain't talking about it.
Yeah, but I
But
mean, but look at it. I mean, when you, it's who you align with, man, and it's okay to take sides at times. It's like, okay, I mean, it's not like you can't like 50 don't play stand on the fence between the two. You know, like he just, I mean, I'll say this, like say for instance, Fat Joe, right? Like Fat Joe and 50, they minute they stuff, and but Fat Joe still has a relationship with Ja. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like, you know, I don't know, man. It's just weird with the Rick Ross thing, because it's kind of like you cross promoting the brand, but I'm promoting your brand as a whole. You're the main reason why you're still, not to say that I'm the main reason why you're still relevant, but I'm the reason why you're more relevant in society. And nobody, like they was talking about like people was giving Meats checks and stuff like that. I was like, I ain't
yeah.
giving, I don't care how rich I am, I ain't giving, like he didn't
Why is
do that.
that a thing? Like
He he didn't do that
where people
for me.
yeah.
Like,
I mean, unless it can bring me back more money. Like if I can get them to promote
I'm not
like
giving him no
G
car,
coded,
no
yeah.
dumb shit. Like that's some nigga shit. Like sometimes we think
Unless
like
he put me on to where I made more money because of him. You know what I'm
no,
saying? Like
somebody like Jeezy or because Jeezy was directly with them back in the day. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
Jeezy
Not
and
necessarily
Fab.
and things like that, but like other than that, I don't owe you. I don't. It's like a check in. Like I don't owe you a check in. I owe you none of that stuff. Like I'm gonna move how I move. Like, but the thing, like people get on 50. I remember Fat Joe was saying, back in the day, like, well, yeah, I couldn't shoot. I couldn't get to 50 because 50 had security around me. He was like, yeah, 50 would have got murdered if he didn't have security around him. Like sometimes niggas say dumb shit, and it like, yeah, I'm gonna have security around me if people go try to murder me. He was like why would I not? It's like, I remember I was watching this what's dude 100 Whack 100. He was saying how they thought they he said he thought that they had 50 trapped. He said next thing you know, a bunch of like Navy SEAL men came in and just like had guns on them. Like, okay, y'all, no, this is different. Like, y'all are not about to. We're paid to make sure that this man stays alive.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's what you're supposed to do. It's like you're supposed to get caught slipping. It's like I
I
want to get
mean,
murdered.
he learned. He didn't already got shot
Yeah,
9 times.
there's
Yeah.
no way in hell you gonna catch me slipping ever again. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
um, but I have to say that let me jump to the shows I'm watching. Right now. I'm watching Alice in Borderland. I just really started that show probably this week. Um, and it's a crazy ass show. It's almost like Squid Games, which I watched as well, but it's like at a whole different type of level. Um, it's a really good show. It's literally about you playing games and you playing games with your life to survive. And
I guess
it
we do it every day, right?
right, and it's just an elevated sense of what we normally do on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So I started watching a show called Blind Spot. I don't know what network it comes on, but it's on.
NBC. It's
Oh,
on
okay.
NBC. Yeah.
Dog, that shit is good. Like I'm on like episode 4 or 5 or something like that. But I was like, damn, this is actually a pretty good. Like, and mind you, the way that I watched it, right? Like, don't you know how like you watching something on Netflix and then it'll go off, and
And
then you're
another
like, oh
yeah.
well, you should watch da 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 da. And but I woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, and I just turned on something because I sleep with the TV on. I turned on something and I just clicked one of those, and then I'm watching it, and I'm watching like the first 2-3 minutes. I'm like, oh shit, this is actually,
When they drop her off in a bag, like
yeah, yeah. So now I done stayed up and watched 2 episodes at like three
you
or 4 o'clock in
invested.
the morning, and then like now I'm into it. So um, that's another that I'm watching. And then like I say, my third one, I be watching. I started watching more of the Disney animation shows. As far as like they got the show called Avengers Assemble, and
Uh-huh.
I've been watching that. I'm on like season 4
Did
now.
you watch the Braveheart
Yeah,
series?
I watched all that shit.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I
I
watched all that
watched
shit.
that too, so I didn't really. But I do want to drop one in because, like, we talked about Tyler Perry, and Tyler Perry dropped the Medea Destination Wedding this joint, right?
Mhm.
But I am watching her show, the Bros, Tyler Perry Bros,
Mhm.
and that is a good show because it doesn't follow the Tyler Perry
Okay,
sequence.
you know I don't watch Tyler Perry. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, but you would watch this because it's about four brothers, well, four dudes that went to college together and they became really good friends.
Mhm.
And one friend kind of didn't. I ain't saying living up
Didn't
to
pan
the
out.
potential.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's struggling a little bit more. So you have a doctor, a lawyer, and an architect, and then the other friend is a business owner. Stop
Mhm.
it. The other friend is a business owner, so it's called the Bros, Tyler
Mhm.
Perry Bros.
Okay.
Uh,
I,
and
I
like,
I look into it, but like it's at hopefully it has some staying value because like I said, I don't. I put it like this. So most of the time, whenever I'm watching shows, I'm like, I try not to. I'll try a different show,
yeah,
but I try to watch the shows that I have. Like I said, I'm on like season 4 of the Avengers Assemble. I'm on season 2 of House of Borderland, and then I'm on in this damn 5 seasons of Blind Spot. And I'm
yeah,
only on like episode 4 of Blind Spot, so I'm watching those. But I'll check out one episode and see what I think about it. So
yeah. Just check out one episode because they got the mama is crazy in there, and I mean you can see the patterns between that and some of the other shows. But man, I have even more for you next time. I know we cutting the time short, so I'm gonna let you get out of here.
sure.
Anything you want to say to the people?
Nah, man, just be dope. I mean, I always and I wanted to talk about this. We talk about this another time, but you know, if you got something going on and if ain't nobody investing in your life, do the shit that you want to do. Don't pay attention to the other people because if they ain't investing in you, they just offering fruitless advice that may or may not help you. Take
If it
the
ain't
advice that
investing in you, then they de-stressing you, right?
yeah, yeah,
So
right.
like,
You know, it's
yeah,
just like they just talking from afar. Like if they ain't like trying to, check on you, not to say that they ain't checking on you, but they ain't trying to like be in your life and stuff like that, then their advice really don't mean anything. Now you can listen to it, and if it's good advice, then that's fine. But don't get mad if they don't worry about if they're gonna get mad or not. And this is one thing with my mom, and I love my mom to the death. It's like, my mom will give advice, and if you don't take it, she takes a certain feeling about you not taking it. And I try not to, invest in that type of like you can fuck me, you don't, but just understanding that if I'm not taking your advice doesn't mean that I don't respect you or care
I
about
don't love
anything
you
you said.
less. Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
don't
do the
love you
best
less.
thing for me,
Yeah,
and that's important. Like a lot of people don't do that. It's like a lot of people feel like they have to do things for certain people to be within this whole group think type of mentality. It's like no, like be the person, or should I go shit even old school? Like be the change you want to be in the world, like Mahatma Gandhi. It's like make sure that you're doing the things that you want to do, and if like I said, nobody else is impacted by it but you, then do it for the reasons why you want to do it. So
yeah. Nobody else can see your vision all the way through besides you,
yep,
right? They might be able to see their version of your vision, but sometimes you just got to do it and say, "I can show you better than I can tell you."
yeah,
Uh,
and standing on like, and you brought up a great point. Standing on like, I have to deal with my decision. You don't have to. So that's where the investment part comes into it. It's like, well, I make my decisions based off of how I feel or how I'm impacted. I'd rather be wrong by making my own decisions and be wrong than taking your suggestion.
yeah,
So
and you ain't ever did nothing, right?
correct. You just sat over there and just typed it, or you sat over
Yeah,
there and just texted it. You sat over there and
yeah.
just talked it. Like you're not invested at all. So
All right,
but
all
cool.
right.
What you got
Well,
to say? You got anything to say to the people?
just hey, follow your dreams, and even if you miss, shoot for the stars, and even if you miss, shoot for the moon, and if you miss, that's what the Green Eye Bandit used to say. Even if you miss, you'll still be beyond the stars. So
Hmm.
yeah, man, keep going at it, keep doing and being persistent, and like if anything that I know is that can't nobody take nothing that's yours away from you.
That's true, and that's dope. Well, thank you all for listening. Thank you, Brian, for another great podcast, man. I always love these conversations. It's dope. As I said before, like we don't have this within family, friends, and stuff like that where we talk like this. Me and you, we'll sit there and talk on the phone for however long. And I'm like, well, no, let's translate this into a podcast because we can always have these conversations. And I think some people are interested, other people are not. But what I'm saying, make sure you like, subscribe, take advantage, leave a comment, don't leave a comment, and say what we could do better, worse, and blah blah blah, and go from there.